I'm going to hold your hand with an industrial paper towel when I tell you that your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are. I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate fucking bullshit. I want you to look at me and know, fuck Donald Trump, fuck men, honestly, and fuck what's going on in the world right now. Fuck the genocide in Gaza. And fuck anybody who thinks any differently. Honestly. If I'm not for you, good.
The male loneliness epidemic is not real. There's a male loser epidemic, but there's not a male loneliness epidemic. They are just so fucking miserable and draining to be around, and then they're like, why don't girls want to date us? It's because you fucking suck. No one wants to hang out with you.
These videos remind me of an old saying that men have: the bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe, referring to the hoop earring she was wearing, and the bigger it was, the easier she was. I think it's about time we update that to the bigger the nose ring, the bigger the feminist. And what I always find funny and ironic about these videos is that they're always the exact opposite of what they're preaching. They are not safe spaces. The minute I disagree with you on something, I'm being exiled. They love to tolerate BS, because y'all project this intolerance of men, even though 99.9% of men have done nothing to you or women. But you already have your bullhorns out when the false alligators show up, and they're the ones usually the most insufferable and miserable to be around. And the only reason guys are hanging around with you is because they're trying to get in your pants. And for people who claim to be the most understanding, they always seem to be the most hateful for people with a different viewpoint. And I just find it funny how closely this nose ring theory mirrors the hoop earring theory, like it's our own modern day version of it, because more often than not, the bigger the nose ring or more colorful the hair really is like their own outward manifestation of their feminist power level and how much of the Kool-Aid they drank. But what I can agree on is what that girl said in the first video. You are 100% dressing like that for us, but not for the reasons she thinks. It's so we know to avoid her. She is not safe, she's miserable and insufferable. And it's like I said at the start, the bigger the nose ring, the bigger the feminist.
If you could give a single girl some dating advice, what would you say to her?
How old?
Let's say she's like 21.
Oh, 21. Just bang them all. Bang them all, because men are so immature that you're not gonna lock anyone down. Don't even start thinking yet about the husband stuff. But I will say, bang dudes quietly. Don't tell everybody. Shut the f- about it. Just go do your business. Bang girls, bang guys, bang dogs, trans, whatever you want. But keep an eye out for the good ones in your college.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, keep the solid dudes in your back pocket. Like, befriend them, but don't f- them or date them or nothing until you're kind of like older and you're ready to like settle down with a boy.
Yeah.
And then call that guy up, like that one you had your eyes on. And I'll be like, what's up, dude?
This is why I don't have any hope that the dating scene will be getting better anytime soon. While men are getting the advice of go to the gym, wear a clean shirt, and pull up your bootstrap, this is what the advice women are getting. So how does any of the advice we're getting prevent you from getting this? It doesn't. It just makes you a marked target for later. And they even say it themselves. Now the advice itself isn't what's crazy here, as women have always been told this. Maybe not the rack up your body count part, but definitely not to tell anybody. That part is definitely nothing new. It's been going on forever. The real problem we're all having now is how unrestricted it is. And now most women at the very least have a double-digit body count, and we can't even guarantee anymore that's all from the same species. And because now it's a worldwide audience, you'll probably never know. That's what these past generations of men don't seem to understand. Because of the limitation of communication and travel, they had no way of doing what they're doing now without somebody finding out. We basically terraformed the earth again with the internet, and boomers still haven't caught up to that. That's why women now could put this age-old advice on steroids, because now with the ability to travel around the world, get your own money, who's gonna know? And to top it all off, the epidemic of simps willing to take anything. And that's why some choose not to hide it, or if it comes out, it's whatever. There's no consequences for it anymore. And until we get the lid back on this Pandora box we open, it's not going to get any better, and why would it? There's no incentive to. And that's one of the big things I hope AI does. Brings back the incentives, or at least get women to be more persuasive with their illusions of purity, and not this unbridled debauchery we have now.
Gentle reminder that the men who did me the most dirty in my life were all leftists, intersectional feminists, people who love to work with women, people who surrounded themselves with women. Because gentle reminder that the men who did me the most dirty in my life were all leftists, intersectional feminists, people who love to work with women, people who surrounded themselves with women, because that was the staging so that if anything ever happened, which it did a lot with these people, if anything ever happened, they could run cover for each other and say, well, no, I only work with women. Well, no, my girlfriend, we have the best relationship. I would almost prefer the outright misogyny of right-wing men and the way that they handle women to the insidious nature of lecherous leftist men, because it's calculated. Right-wing men, I don't know if they're smart enough to be able to pull off the long con that leftist men do to get women, to abuse women. It is an impressive display of peacocking, of pretending to be a feminist only to do really heinous acts on the down low. And that is something that I have seen across entertainment industries. That is something that's super prevalent in politics. It's this idea, it's this smokescreen that's created that says, like, because I'm friends with women, because I respect women, it could never be me. So when allegations come out and you have all of these smart women who are friends with these people being like, oh my God, I'm genuinely shocked by this, that's all staging. That's all on purpose so that it feels too ridiculous to believe.
Everything this woman's saying about leftist men and their strategies is correct, but what she doesn't get is the why. They do it because they are weak men, and because they lack the traditional things women look for, like intelligence, muscle, height, and the biggest leftist speakers prove that point. Look at Destiny or Dean Withers. None of those guys will ever be an image what a man is, but because they're lacking those features, they have to do the only thing they can do, and that is be the nice guy, which involves being their best friend, adopting their beliefs, and parading it around so they can show that they aren't like those other guys. And that's why women like this get so blindsided, because they don't understand, broadly speaking, men just want all the same thing. And because they lack physical features or don't have enough confidence, they have to do this roundabout slow pimp way, where if they are your best friend long enough, or drink enough of the feminist Kool-Aid, it will earn them enough points for you to let them smash. But because that was never a thought in their head, you get videos like this, where they're so surprised. Women just need to understand that men usually want the same thing, and if they can't get it through the direct methods, they'll use the indirect ones. And this strategy is nothing new, as there's a bunch of animal species that do the exact same thing. So this isn't a left or right issue, or right men wouldn't even be smart enough for this. It's a weak man play. They have to do it this way because the normal ways don't work for them. So by being that cuttlefish, they hope to worm their way in. And funny enough, all that stuff you're worried about happening usually happens from the guys on.
This is a video to the guy who flaked on me on our date. I just wanted to show you what I was going to bring to you. Now you're ghosting me last minute. So weird. So childish. So, I'm Latina. I got you some tacos. Really good. From my favorite tacos place. I made you some homemade horchata. Agua horchata. Because you said you liked that, and I made it. And some Mexican corn muffins with honey butter. Handmade. You know, let me know why you ghosted me. That's crazy. I already crashed out, you guys, but yeah. You can only imagine how that shit feels. All you had to do is answer the phone. And I had everything planned out. Oh my god.
The reason why women hate ghosting in particular is because it removes their agency of choice. Now, no one really likes ghosting, so it's not like a gender-specific thing, but men are just far more accustomed to it, as they'll always be far more ignored or left unread, more than women ever will, and that's why they're prone to more emotional bursts when it happens, because they're not used to it. And on top of that, it only really happens to them from people they don't want to be ghosted from, and that's what we're seeing in this clip. This woman clearly liked the guy a lot more than he liked her, as demonstrated by her whole Cinco de Mayo party in her bag, and because this guy ghosted her, removing her choice of not not being able to cut it off herself or talk her way back into it through her words or body, you get crash outs like this. The combination of it not really happening to them, and then when it does happen, it only comes from the chads they're interested in, is why you get reactions like this, and why ghosting all of a sudden becomes bad, even though they've probably done more than their fair share of it. They know exactly why it's happening, as they've done it themselves plenty, and the women that cry about it are just mad that it's happening to them, and their agency of choice in that situation is being taken away, even though they're all fine with it when they're the ones doing it.
If I see one more glow up post-divorce video, y'all couldn't do that for a man you love. Y'all love to lose a man and then look the way you should have looked during the relationship. Why do y'all get so comfortable physically and then y'all be like, he was so mean to me, he told you he was getting unattracted, you ignored him, but now he's monogamous with somebody he's unattracted to, and if he cheats and finds somebody who he's attracted to, he's going to be a terrible man. But if he breaks up with you because you look like that, he's a terrible man. You literally proving his goddamn point. You proving everybody's point. You proving all of our points. Put in the effort when you got us. Why do you lock us down? And then you make us tolerate that. Then you'll be talking about, oh, he was such a terrible man to me. You were horrible to him. Look what he had to wake up to every day. That! Pounding beers and shit? Now all of a sudden you a gym girl. Are you kidding me?
Everything this guy is saying is right, but what he doesn't seem to understand is the why, and the answer for that is really easy, and that is they just don't love you anymore, and the love for themselves quite literally outweighs the love they have for you. Now, we don't know the specifics of that situation, and I'm sure he's just not about to step on the Mr. Olympia stage either, but generally speaking, if they have such a big glow up after they break up with you, then they really just weren't that into you anymore. That's why they didn't do it beforehand, and this is why all these guys get confused or blindsided, and can't understand why she couldn't put down the fork and get on the treadmill before she broke up with you. It's because she already didn't love you that much at that point. They're under the assumption that this is all new, when she already could have been feeling like this for years. I've also seen women get big and stay big, so they remain unattractive to you, so you stop asking them for sex, and now that she has enough courage, aka you or her have built up enough resources, she's ready to pull that ripcord, shed off that husband repellent suit, and get smashed out by chads. And that's what guys like this need to understand. The reason why they never could lose the weight or do whatever is because they didn't love you that much anymore.
A little pre-abortion snack. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. I know having multiple abortions is normal. It's actually more normal to have more than one than it is just one. But I'm still fucking over it. I'm over it. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of getting pregnant. Why am I so fucking fertile? Give the babies to someone who wants them. Like, it's simple. Please, God, listen when I pray to you to stop sending me children that I don't want.
I think a lot of people need to take biology class again, especially women. It's not some grand mystery in how you got pregnant. First off, you're in your fertile years, so the chances of you getting pregnant are pretty high. So it's not like this thing of, I don't know why it keeps happening to me. You're doing the thing to cause the other thing. Pretty sure we figured that part out hundreds of centuries ago. And with all the modern information, contraceptives, if you get pregnant today, I kind of think you want it to. And even if you're too dumb to figure all that out, there are apps that will track your cycle and tell you what days of the month that you're likely to get pregnant. God isn't sending you children, your negligence is. But more to the point, it's sad to see how normalized this is for women, like they're going in for a dentist cleaning. I thought the idea behind it was supposed to be safe and rare, like it was an act she was forced into or her life was in danger, and not become like this quarterly or yearly dentist checkup. And this is exactly why we have such a population crisis, and why like 30% of Gen Z is just missing. It all comes from this apathy that women seem to have for their own children, and until we get a handle on it, or convince women to be more empathetic to their children, all that crying that Elon Musk, Tim Pool, Matt Walsh do about population decline won't mean anything, because men aren't the ones you have to convince to have children. It's women like this, who think it's normal to have multiple abortions, like it's some normal doctor checkup. Now the advice I would give all these ladies is just go get your tubes tied, then you never have to worry about it again. But what all these women always leave out is that they just don't want kids right now. That's why they don't do it. But by waiting until you're in your 30s, you're effectively already doing that, and you're just wasting all this time, money, on this Hail Mary pass you hope to catch in your 30s, when the majority are going to fumble it, and then cry about it, when almost every one of you had a time period where you could be be like this girl, getting touchdowns whenever they wanted. And as much as women try to make it normal, it never will be. It's always going to have a negative connotation to it, as it should. And all these celebratory videos women seem to do on it only show me that deep down they know they're doing something bad. And by connecting with something good like snacks or cakes or something else positive like parties, it's just them trying to mask the bad thing and make us look like we're in the wrong.
I've been engaged 5 times. Yes, these are all real. I do offer the rings back. They always say no every time. But I'm going to tell you 3 things that I do that makes me special. Side note, this is my favorite kind of ring, the tri. Beginning, middle, and end, if you must. Number 1, I don't really give a fuck. I just try not to give them my time of day. They want to see me, yeah, maybe. Maybe I have time for you, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, just don't overly be like, yes, I can see you at the drop of a dime. Don't worry. No. Stress them out a little bit. They like it. 2, when we are together, I'm super fun. I'm super girly. Whenever they do something, you overly go, oh my God, babe, that's like the best thing ever. You're so strong. You're so smart. You're so great. You know, just overly like compliment and make them feel really good about themselves. For example, they fix your bike, you grab them by the face and you go, oh my God, babe, I didn't know you knew how to do that. I don't know how to do that. You're so smart. Mwah. And you give them a little kiss on their little forehead and you just keep kissing them and go like, you're so awesome. Oh my God. Give them that big hug and put them in their masculine energy. You know, I look at these rings and I feel sadness because I truly do love all of them and I will never talk anything negative about any of my exes ever.
As much as we always rail against social media, one of the best things it's ever done is waking up men to the reality of dating and using women as the source for it. We have so many women now telling you black and white what they think of you, and that yeah, most of the time they don't really care about you, and if they do, they might just be playing that part you want them to be. Now obviously this isn't everybody, but this sort of behavior is becoming more prevalent every day, and now that men aren't needed for a woman's day-to-day survival, there's enough women now just pulling back the curtain, telling you what they always thought. That's why I think even though social media has done a lot of damage, it's been great for men to understand relationship dynamics, especially after a breakup or divorce when they're at their most vulnerable looking for an answer, other than the normal response of, well, you should have picked better, when a lot of the time they're just dating women like this. Maybe not to this degree, but this comes in a whole lot of versions, and more importantly, it's not just the baddies who think like this, it's even the middest of mids who can collect more rings than Tom Brady.
I can't help but to laugh when a man brings up friends with benefits, because what's the benefit for me? Are you paying bills? Are you gonna pay my car note? Are you gonna pay my rent? No? Oh, okay. So what's the benefit? Because you're gonna finish. I'm not. When you're checking up on me, you're not actually genuinely checking up on me. You're checking to see where I'm at because you want me to come over and sit on it. You're not taking me out on dates. And you don't really give a fuck to know how my day is. So what's my benefit? I know you're benefiting, but what's my benefit? Yeah, no, I'm good. Stop falling for the propaganda that women benefit from friends with benefits. Unless you're getting your fucking bills paid, you are being used.
What we're seeing here is a woman's relationship world all colliding together as she doesn't understand the fundamental differences and expectations, because what she is describing, someone paying for your expenses, the things you want, going on dates, checking up on you, and listening to what you say, that's what we like to call a husband. A friends with benefit relationship is just a nicer way of saying booty call, where you both just give each other free sex. He's not expected to listen to your problems or pay for your stuff, just like you're not expected to cook or clean for him. The purpose of it is so both of you can take care of each other's needs, and because you guys know each other a bit, it makes it a bit safer than getting strangers all the time. It's not really recommended as it almost always ends disastrously, but that is the idea behind it. The benefit of it is that you're both supposedly to give each other reliable, safe, clean, risk-free sex, but because of the way women date nowadays, they're mixing up all these categories and expectations, and whether if it's by accident or they're trying to brute force their way into changing those rules or expectations, if you want a guy to care and do all that stuff, then you have to give him some exclusivity and ownership over your life, you know, marriage. Otherwise, he's going to treat you exactly the way you're getting treated now. This is what it looks like when you give it up for free and you put the cart before the horse, and now you're mad that no one's paying for it. There is no propaganda or psyops going on here. It's just you being dumb and not understanding relationship dynamic. If you want a guy to pay for your stuff, then either go get married or become a prostitute. And if you're already okay with being in a friends and benefit relationship, then you're already more or less a prostitute anyways.
I was hanging out with my friend yesterday and we were talking about dating, and she was telling me how she's so frustrated with dating and with men, and she's just so over it. And she's 27, she's gorgeous, and I'm not just saying that because she's my friend. She's just objectively beautiful. She's from Brazil, she's sweet, she works out a lot, she's super fit. She's just had so many disappointing experiences over the last couple years. Like, she feels like guys just don't take her seriously for some reason. Like, they think it's okay to just treat her casually, even though she tells them up front she only is interested in something serious. She's not interested in anything casual. And some guys are just actually dumb. They don't know how to behave. On some of the dates, she'll like offer to pay or split something just to see how they react. Any gentleman is not going to accept that offer. He's not going to let the woman pay on at least the first handful of dates. And some of these guys will just let her pay. Like, they'll just be like, yeah, go ahead. You can pay for that. Yeah, pay for that. I'm sorry. He was just in the mindset of like, I've just been so disappointed by so many of these guys. Like, I just don't even want to try anymore.
This is what it looks like when a woman's about to hit the ball and now wants to change up her priorities. But instead of adjusting the way she dates and the guys she's dating, she'll just continue to date the way she was in her early 20s, not realizing that if the guys back then didn't want to take you seriously, which I'm sure she had her own part in why they didn't, then why would these guys take you seriously now that you're 27? It's not that these guys just don't know how to behave. It's you went back to the same pool of men with different priorities, not adjusting your own scope of priorities you should be looking for, but instead pushing onto these guys. I can 100% guarantee she's dating the same guy she's always has been, but now is expecting different results because what she is looking for has changed. You're doing the same thing but expecting a different outcome. All these women always make the same mistakes when they adjust their priorities and it's now time to get serious. They never really adjust what kind of man that may be, but just continue to date like they always have been. It's like that quote, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results. And it's kind of what's going on here. They just keep dating the guys that didn't want to take them seriously then, but now that they need something more serious, it's all of a sudden, wow, all these guys are bad, when it's no, they're the same. You just want something different now. You just haven't adjusted to the guys willing to give you that. Lastly, her paying for the date test is stupid. Because first off, how do you know they're not applying the same logic to you? Because usually a good indicator for a guy if she's willing to put money into you, like paying for their first date. So you could potentially be locking out one of these good guys because he let you pay. Meanwhile, he's thinking the exact opposite. But moreover, it really doesn't help you sort between the good and bad ones. Because the bad ones won't care and think, great, I got a free meal. And the good ones, you'll think, wow, he must be bad. And her even doing this test shows to me that she hasn't adjusted anything. But now if he pays, he might be a keeper. And is exactly what I mean by that these women are dating the same but expecting different results.
Stop commenting and telling me it goes both ways. It absolutely does not. You may be annoyed by women. You may not enjoy modern women's takes. You may be frustrated by the way we handle things. You are not in fear of us. You do not walk to your car with keys between your fingers. You do not worry about saying no to the wrong man or being unalived by one of us, okay? You do not sit in the gynecologist office and worry about whether or not your rights will be taken away. It's not the same thing. It's not the same experience. It does not go both ways. Stop commenting that it does. Oh, women are mean to you? Get over it.
No, it does actually indeed go both ways. A woman may have to worry about a man's fist, but a man has to worry about a woman's tongue. And between the two, the tongue is far deadlier, because at least with a gun or something blunt or sharp, you have a reasonable chance. But against a woman's tongue, a guy's gonna need overwhelming evidence to even clear up his name, and that doesn't even get rid of the stain on it. So yeah, it actually does go both ways, probably too far your way in fact. Her examples are cartoonishly bad, like someone who's watched too many movies or true crime documentaries, because none of that stuff really happens. No one's coming to kidnap or beat you up in the parking lot. There's cameras and lights everywhere. It's not 1972, and if that truly is your concern, I think that says more about you than anything else. Then maybe you need to reevaluate the areas you're going to and the people you're hanging around with, because the majority of guys aren't doing anything close to what you're saying. Her point on taking women's rights away kind of pushes over the skit line for me, but I'm sure there's still a version of this crazy out there. But anyways, if that is true, you've been hanging out way too many Nick Fuentes or Andrew Tate live streams. It would be a nice dream come true, but there are far too many Simpson cucks to ever make this a possibility. equality. And if this is actually a fear, then you're a prime candidate on why we should for falling for nonsense online from people with no political power or connection. If women were just being mean, most men could just brush that off. The problem is all the lying and false allegation women are doing, where men have to just walk around in eggshells talking to them, being worried a joke or conversation might be spun wrong into making her feel uncomfortable, which in the court of public opinion is just about as grave, and then he'll get blasted online, social life ruined, and fired from his job. It's gotten so bad that there's actual literal sting operations now to catch guys who look too long. So I think it's gone well past some mean words that guys have to worry about. And if anything now, it's only really going one way now, your way, because the things you're worried about don't really happen. And if they do, I'm not going to say you deserve it, but when you get out of the safety of your car that society provides, like those zoo safari car parks, don't be surprised when you get mauled by a wild tiger. You're more often than not picking or creating these scenarios to happen. Next to no guys are going around, I can't wait to beat and rape women today. And like I said earlier, if this is a concern of yours, it says more about the company that you keep around and the things you're doing, as majority guys have none of these thoughts and are actually more concerned about what you may do to them.